Hello everyone, welcome to Shaurav's classes. So today we are going to discuss the question number 19 of the DSE 2021 paper. So the question says, a rotating credit and savings association is made up of a group of individuals. Members of a Rosca pool their money into a common fund, generally structured around monthly contributions, and a single member withdraws the money from it as a lump sum at the end of each quarter. In one cycle, each member must withdraw the pot exactly once. So this is an example of public good, moral hazard, risk sharing, altruism. Now, naturally, this is not a public good. Because if you remember by definition, these are basically public goods are something which are non-rival and non-excludable. And all the agents basically receive the public good in same quantities. Now this need not necessarily be the case. It is not a public good. Moral hazard, obviously it's not, because moral hazard means that you are not trying to work up to your best potential knowing that you are not monitored. So this will not be applicable. Risk sharing is certainly one of the possibilities, and it's definitely not altruism, because you are not donating it to someone or you are not benevolent towards someone. So the option is option number 3. So question 19, the option will be C. So, hello everyone. Continuing with the next question of DSE 2021 paper, which is question number 20. An economy consists of two agents, R and P, and two states, which is pandemic and normal. If the state is pandemic, then R earns rupees 10 and P earns rupees 5. So let me just jot down the information over here. So if it is pandemic, then P will earn rupees 10 and R will earn rupees 10 and P will earn rupees 5. R earns rupees 10 and P will earn rupees 5. And if the state is normal, then R will earn 20 and P will earn 10. So we can note that in both the situations, R is basically earning more. The probability of the pandemic is known and is given to be Q, which lies between 0 and 1. Utility of both R and P is given by Ux, where X is the net earning of the individuals. Both P and R are risk averse. So what does risk aversion mean? If you remember, risk averse individuals mean that the utility function Ux shows a U prime positive and U double prime negative, right? For both P and R. Okay. An insurance company is selling a actuarially fair pandemic insurance where the consumer has the same income irrespective of the state, that is pandemic or normal. Actuarially fair plans are those insurance plans where the companies make no profit. Also note that the insurance company is risk neutral. Now we consider the following schemes to protect P in case of pandemic, because P is earning less in both cases. Case 1 is the government purchases the pandemic insurance for P, and the premium for the pandemic insurance is collected from R as tax. And the scheme B says, if the state is pandemic, then R pays rupees 5 to P through charity. Otherwise in normal state there is no transfer. So which of the above schemes will R prefer? And you may assume that R is not eligible to buy the pandemic insurances. So what is the probability of the pandemic? It's given to be Q, where Q lies between 0 and 1. So now note something in this expression. R will earn 10 with a probability Q, and will earn 20 with probability 1 minus q. P will earn 5 with a probability of q and will earn 10 with a probability of 1 minus q. Sorry, 1 minus q, right? So essentially, what is the expected income of agent R? It is 10 times q plus 20 times 1 minus q. And what is the expected income of agent P? It is 5 times q plus 10 times 1 minus q, right? And if you remember, so this is the thing that we need to understand. Now coming to the insurance part. So for insurance, the two schemes says that in, let's consider scheme 1, scheme A. The pandemic insurance is purchased by the government and the premium of the pandemic insurance collected from R as tax. So as we know that if we are buying an insurance policy, then premium needs to be paid. And if we have an actuarially fair premium that is said, then the insurance company earns no profit by way of charging the premium. So let us understand this in a brief note. So let us suppose we can have different notations as well. That let's suppose that G is the risk premium to be paid per unit of coverage. That means basically what I mean is that if the coverage is 1 rupee, then in order to guarantee that from the insurance company, the risk premium to be paid is G. And let's say that the company is basically guaranteeing A as the total coverage that is guaranteed. Okay. So now tell me, what is the expected profit of the insurance company? With the probability Q, the pandemic will occur. So the total risk premium that it will get is A times G, right? G is the risk premium to be paid per unit of coverage. A is the total coverage, so A into G. However, it has to pay back an amount A, which is the guaranteed coverage. So this is the net profit plus 1 minus Q times. There is no pandemic, so nothing needs to be paid back. So the entire AG is to be kept in profit. And what does actuarially fair premium mean? Actuarially fair premium implies that this is 0, which implies that Q times A minus AG equals to 1 minus Q times AG. So if you expand it, A times Q minus AGQ is equals to A times G minus AGQ. AGQ cancels, A and A cancels. So G is nothing but Q. Now this is a standard result that many of you must be knowing from your chapters on uncertainty. So the actually fair premium is you charge exactly Q as the premium. And if you just solve later, I'm not solving it anymore, the total coverage comes out to be the full loss that occurs. That means in the case of pandemic, the amount of loss that he will actually be made is the full coverage that is guaranteed in this case. So now let's have a look at this. For R is the one for whom the insurance is being purchased. Sorry, P is the one for whom the insurance is being purchased. So P under pandemic gets 5 rupees, and under normal situations he was getting 10 rupees. As a result of which he is losing out on 5 rupees, right? So full loss. So for agent P, for whom we need insurance, loss is equals to 5. So that is the amount A, right? Perfect. So this is the amount A. Now we consider two schemes. Scheme A, the government purchases the pandemic insurance for P, and the premium of the pandemic insurance is collected from R as tax. So what is the premium? It is essentially G, which comes out to be Q. So the Q is the amount that R will be taxed. This is scheme 1. And the second scheme is R simply makes a transfer of 5 rupees to P through charity if there is pandemic and no transfer otherwise. So the question is, which one will R prefer? Now over here we have already written down the expression for the expected income of R, right? So obviously after these two schemes, the one in which the expected income will be higher will be the one that R will prefer, right? That is what will happen. So let's compare the expected income in these two cases. So scheme A. Okay. So what's the expected income over here? Expected income. So if the pandemic occurs, he was originally getting 10, but he has to pay away a tax of Q. So this will be 10Q into 10 minus Q. And with 1 minus Q, he was getting 20, but again, irrespective of whether the pandemic occurs or not, he will be taxed an amount Q, which is to be paid to the insurance company. So this is the expected income that he will be getting, right? So we can just have a simplified expression 10Q minus Q square plus 20 minus Q minus 20Q plus Q square. So the Q square terms will get cancelled out and we are simply left with 20 minus 11Q. So this is the expected income that he will be getting from scheme A. Now coming to scheme B. If the state is pandemic, then R will pay 5 rupees to P through charity. Otherwise, in the normal state, there will be no transfer. So now coming to scheme B. What is the expected income? In the state of pandemic, he was getting 10, but he needs to transfer 5 rupees. So he'll get 10 minus 5. But if it is normal state with probability 1 minus q, then he keeps the 20. Nothing is to be paid. So this is essentially 5q plus 1 minus q times 20. It is 5q plus 20 minus 20q. So that is 20 minus 15q. So now what we need to do, we simply need to compare these two values. Expected income of R from scheme 1 and expected income from R from scheme 2. Now obviously this is greater, right? 20 minus 11q. So obviously for R, scheme A is better. That's the conclusion. Okay. Thank you.